This episode of the Offroad Podcast is sponsored by Warren, Medical Gear Outfitters, and Colby Valve.
Offroad episode.
Nope.
What?
You went into the same warp speed that Aaron went into a little bit earlier.
Off-Road Podcast, episode 363. Alan, wow. Andy rallies around.
Tonight, Andy changes his name to Alan. Aaron gets lost. Jeremy can't be bothered, and Ben hits 500.
Welcome to the Off-Road Podcast, a podcast about everything off-road. We cover the news, review products, and interview people in the off-road industry. Your hosts tonight are Aaron, Jeremy, and my name is Ben. And joining us once again, our friend Andy from Warren Industries. And welcome to the show.
Thank you. Alan would be a weird nickname for just because it's like a regular name, but I've been called worse by you guys. So
it's that Alan is long for Al, which are your initials, AL, Al. So
I love it. Yeah,
sounds like a conspiracy theory.
And I mean,
far stretch.
Nicknames can also be other names. I mean, like Bubba's a real name and a nickname.
It's true.
We can
already getting some comments on your background there, Andy.
Yeah, by my wife.
The Weekend Review is brought to you by Medical Gear Outfitters. What are you waiting for? Are you waiting to have a casualty on the trail? Check out medicalgearoutfitters.com to get straightened out. Medical Gear Outfitters has everything you need, whether you're going out for the day or traveling on a year-long expedition. Head over there to get off-road specific kits that meet all of your needs. And while you're there, make sure you use Off-Road Podcast for 10% off. Not going to lie, when you said my wife, all I could think of was Borat.
My wife. Very nice.
She's also my sister.
Except she's not.
I don't remember him saying that.
No, but Andy does.
Oh, yeah.
Andy does.
Okay.
I believe that's Alan to you, but anyway.
Well, Jeremy,
I'm not.
Since you just did the last ad read, why don't you just go ahead and tell us what you've been up to?
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't done anything off-roading recently. I think I talked about going out with Rick to Tahuya on the last episode. So
you tempted to go, or
I'm always tempted to go. At least half tempted.
Half tempted. Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Ben? What have you been up to?
Did I come back from Montana before the last episode, or was I not back yet?
You weren't back yet.
Yeah, so
you were driving home that night.
Yeah, I was. I did comment on that show. So yeah, I was in Montana. We did family stuff. My sons went to summer camp. I was there for part of the time they were there. They were there a little bit longer than I was. But we drove the minivan. We used the Gazelle, camped on Flathead. It was the fullest I've ever seen that lake. It was over to where the beach area was. It was in the grass. The lake was that high. This is obviously when Montana was flooding, like Yellowstone was flooding.
Yeah.
But
when you said it was the fullest, I assumed you meant like you'd never seen so many people camping there before. So you're talking about the water levels.
The water level was the highest I've ever seen it. So like the docks are, a lot of the docks are like a permanent level dock, not a floating. And the water was over the docks.
Wow.
Like 6 inches or so. So, but I mean, you think of the size of that lake, that's a lot of water to be there. So yeah, it was a fun time in Montana. I came home. I was without my children for a couple days, and then my father-in-law got sick with COVID. My son was at summer camp. They picked him up on his last day, and he started feeling sick too. Turns out he had COVID too. So the last couple weeks has been one child sick with COVID, followed by another one being sick with COVID. And as of last night, my youngest now has it. And so I'm like, all right, am I next? Do I get to go back to the hospital or any of that fun stuff? So hopefully not. And then my allergies have been acting up. It's been nasty.
If you could go ahead and put a mask on while you're on the show here, I definitely don't want to catch it.
Definitely a good idea. I'll do that for your safety. Let me get the paper bag. And then actually tonight's podcast episode will be the 500th podcast
that you've done what to them?
That I've published for the Firearms Radio Network.
Out of curiosity, how do you know? Not that I don't believe you, but how do you know that you've hit 500? Have you just been counting the whole time?
No. So where we
notches on the wall,
where we upload the podcasts at, it has like yours, so you can look at what you've physically done. So it's easier to search down like the users that have posted. Andy's probably ran across this for any websites that he uses that uses WordPress.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you can see your tabs that way. If there's people publishing stuff, you'll be able to go in there and find your work quicker. And so if I ever have to find an episode that I need to fix something on, I can find it quicker on the web page side of things. And so this episode will be my 500th episode edited for the Firearms Radio Network. I've done a few podcasts outside of the network. But I'm like, wow, that's a lot of podcasts.
It is. Well, congratulations.
Yeah. So yeah,
I
very
tried
much
to pop
so.
off some confetti for you, but it didn't go quite as far.
yeah
These days don't unroll.
No, not at all.
Plus, I'm pretty sure it smacked me right in the face. So one of them.
So yeah, that's been about me. What about you, Aaron?
Well, I have been up to everything. Unlike you suckers.
So you went to Moab?
I went trailer camping. We drug our trailer camp, our camp trailer, to the coast and camped at a numbered campsite. It was really good for the kids. The kids rode their bikes everywhere. They probably put on 10 miles. I bet you they rode their bikes for 10 miles that weekend. A lot of bike riding. So that was good. Let's see. I bought the parts to do the front brake swap on the Nissan Titan, and also the rear spacers slash what do you call that when you're changing your lug pattern? Adapters.
Oh, adapters.
Adapter spacers. So I bought the rear adapter spacers for the Frontier so that I can run Titan wheels on it, which I've got those worn wheels burning a hole waiting to go on my truck. So as soon as I get all the brake stuff done, I'll be able to confirm that the wheels fit and clear really nicely, and then I will buy my rubber, and then I'll be on fresh rubber by our next snow trip, I promise.
Finally.
What size tires are you going to go for?
35s. I'm going to do some 35s.
Nice.
That echo came back.
I heard that. I don't know why. What if I say echo twice? Does it cancel itself?
Cancel itself.
Wow, somehow your voice sounded like Andy's on the echo.
I'm a ventriloquist. Podcast ventriloquism. Let's see here. So also on the Nissan, I took it for a ride yesterday and did some data logging. Oh, hey, I got pictures. Here we go. Boom. Look at those legs, by the way. Man.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
How do you keep them so white?
Yeah. It's a secret. So I did some data logging on the truck, sent it off to tuner last night, and he already sent me a tune back today. So I need to go out tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. I've got an event after work tomorrow, and it's not very far away. So maybe I'll drive the truck to that event and reflash the ECU and do another data log. So, yep, doing data logging. And then I spent some time working on my shop. And in addition to working on my shop, we over this weekend, we trenched. So this picture here that I'm sharing, you can see open trenches. And if you look to the left of the open trenches, is closed trenches. So I got the drone out and took some pictures of everything that we trenched so that I had a record of where all the water and electrical lines are that are buried underground so they don't get dug up. But lots of trenching. I'm going to guess we did about 300 feet of trenching this weekend.
Wow.
Lots of trenching.
Is that is the trencher on the back of the tractor there?
No, the trencher is in this picture just the bottom of that tractor. It's that little red thing, not the side by side with the white roof, but
Oh, okay. Okay. It's a portable trencher, not a
Yep.
detachable. Gotcha.
I wish it was an attachment. That'd be pretty rad. So
It's like you live in Trench Town. That's a Bob Marley joke for anybody listening. Anyway,
I'm not familiar with that one.
Forget I even said that.
Eric says I powder my legs like a Japanese geisha. So
Oh boy.
I've been very busy. I also caught a squirrel over the weekend with my bare hands. So
All right, you can't.
Well, you can't just say that.
While I was digging through the wood pile to get some wood out of the back 40 of my property, some lumber that I have stashed back there, I came across a small squirrel, and I reached down and grabbed it with my hand.
That echoes back again.
I know. It's terrible. I don't know what's going on.
That's weird because I don't hear it. But
Well, hopefully the
I heard it for a second and then it went away.
Yeah. So, anyways, grabbed a squirrel. It was one of those ground squirrels that tears up property. So, it was dispatched after I grabbed it.
wow, it didn't try to run, or did it try to run and you're just that fast?
It was slow. So,
You want me to show the picture of him?
Probably just rabid.
yeah, share the picture. There
Oh,
he
yeah,
is.
it's a little one. Yeah.
It's
He
alive.
looks like he's begging for mercy. Please, no.
He's peeing in that picture too.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. Travis says he doesn't hear the echo on YouTube, so that's good.
oh good.
Yeah.
Didn't you get a complaint last time you talked about your ground squirrels?
I did, but I was actually thinking about that over the weekend. I could have prefaced that the ground squirrels were tearing up my property and digging into the foundation of our house. And I don't know if I ever shared this, but one time we went on vacation. When we got back, there was a squirrel in our basement. So it had tunneled in and gotten into the foundation and gotten into the basement of our house, which is a full basement. It's not like it's a crawl space.
Yeah, it's a full basement. So, just a little more preface for those listening that are like, "Oh, you're killing squirrels." The ground squirrels tear up farmland, destroy crops and fields. They're considered a nuisance. Most farmers, most fishing game consider them open season because they're pests. They're not like your tree squirrels that go for nuts and chew holes in your filters and chew your wires on your truck. They actually damage farmland and your house. So yeah.
I don't take killing an animal lightly. I don't take pot shots at animals and things like that. So I hunt legally, and I care about all of God's creation, all of God's creatures. So, yep. So there's that. And on that bombshell, Andy, what have you been up to? You been doing any squirrel chasing?
No.
No. Didn't you have a problem with squirrels and nuts and something?
Oh, yeah. So I was just telling this story last weekend where during the height of COVID, where we weren't going hardly anywhere, and one day I opened the hood of my car and there were 13 big pine cones wedged into the engine bay. I'm like, what is this? I pulled them out out of my commuter car, and I'm like, what the heck? Anyway, it was very strange. But on more of a off-road note, I've been to a bunch of off-road and overland rallies over the last few weeks. So did a lot of that, which had also included some things we'll talk about probably on the main topic. But I did just pick up a brand new 2022 Subaru Crosstrek. So as my go everywhere commuter car. So not going to have to worry about bad weather or snow, anything like that if we have to drive across the country. So pick that up. It's a 22 Crosstrek with a 6-speed manual. And then just had delivered today our 2022 Subaru Outback Wilderness, which is what we're going to take on the 2022 Alcan 5000 rally. And so that just got delivered.
So it didn't come in pieces, or did it? Because our petition is still up.
The GoFundMe didn't work.
See, the petition is still up. Only 2 people have signed it.
Thank God I forgot about that. No, it was delivered in one piece. Now, full disclosure, I have to give it back on Friday because we only have it for a week to measure stuff to make sure that all of the things we're bringing are going to have a place and all that. And we have to give it back, and they're going to deliver it again to us in August. So there's still time to sign the.
What do they do? Do they just like stick it in a storage unit so you can't have it, like to put miles on or something, or what's the deal?
So it's still actually technically in the press fleet up here. So the way this works, for people who aren't familiar with it, is there's a couple of fleet management companies, and they're sort of the in between media and the manufacturer. So if Subaru or Jeep or anybody like that says, hey, we'd like to get Andy into the latest vehicle, they work with these fleet management companies who have the manufacturers give them these cars to distribute to the media. So this Outback is still technically in the fleet. They don't have I'm not even sure there's any more press loans on it after we use it, but that's fine. So it'll be like, 30 more days while they'll hold on to it, which is fine considering at the moment I have 6 cars in the driveway and
a trailer
and a shed. And so it's tight. We need a valet. What you should do is start a GoFundMe for a valet board for Andy's house is what you should have. So, but so there's a lot of car shuffling that goes on around here these days. So.
What color is it?
It's that kind of like blue. It's like wavy and jerry can blue for those of you watching. But
does it have the gold Does it have the gold accents?
Yeah, I think they all
copper?
do. So, yeah, that copperish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. I assumed that was an option with that package. I didn't know that it is.
It comes with the Wilderness package. Yeah.
Yeah, with the Wilderness package. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So
that'll look sharp.
Sat in it. It's super comfy. It's it's not a 91 Mitsubishi Pajero, but I mean it's pretty comfortable. So it's only 160 horsepower more also. Anyway.
Only?
That's it. Yeah. It has a 260 horsepower. So
good start.
The better to chase squirrels with.
Well, you're as we're going to find out on our news coming up, you're going to need all of those horsepowers. We also want to thank our sponsor, Patriot Patch. Head over to patriotpatch.co and check out their selection of great patches, shirts, cleaning mats, signs, and stickers. You can also join the Patch of the Month Club for $15 and receive a patch, matching sticker, and artist proof each month. Here we go. I've got it in my hand. This month's patch. Is it a beer can? No, it's a Molotov cocktail. And Ben is doing a good job having it in a blurry photo for us to see.
Focus.
It's focusing on my hand. Screw it.
Yeah. It says revolutionary taste, Patriot Brew, 100% freedom by volume, 17.76 ounces.
The people there, clever bunch.
Absolutely clever. Yeah. And I should give a shout out. Jake sent me a package. I've got a kids 22 rifle shooting event. I got to word that word really carefully because last year I got made fun of when I said I had a kids shooting event. See, it's coming out of Jeremy's nose. So yeah, last year I had a kids shooting event. This year it's a kids 22 rifle shooting event. So I've relabeled the event.
Rifles.
Exactly. So he sent over some signs that I can give away as prizes and some gun cleaning mats and stuff. So yeah. Shout out to Jake.
And I wasn't here, but like this awesome cool logo we have. And here's our patch proofs. If you didn't watch and you're watching this time, I'm super stoked about the detail on these.
Look at the detail.
The detail with that
glow in the dark.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, I'm stoked for that. So stoked.
So much stoke.
Have tire troubles ever left you deflated? Colby Valve has got you covered. Ever have a valve stem leak? Colby Valve makes reusable and easily replaceable valve stems that don't require you to remove your tire from the wheel. They work with your off-road rig, ATV, side-by-side, commuter vehicle, or even your tractor. Never be left stranded again because of a busted valve stem. They also have a tire repair kit for those punctures that keep you away from doing your favorite thing, wheeling. Make sure to check out colbyvalve.com or ask for them at your local off-road products store.
Who do I have to thank for doing the notes for the news stories? Is that you, Jeremy, or is that you, Ben?
That's me.
It's Ben. All right. So appreciate you taking care of that. Our first news article is about a portion of the Yukon Highway washed out near BC. And I'm going to make fun of you, Ben. Your first note says that the washout is caused by pooling water. So, yeah, that will happen. That'll happen on these big jobs. Yeah, pooling water caused the washout. But yeah, you can see in this picture that looks like a 60 or more foot drop that it washed out in that section of road right there. That is,
yeah, that's big.
That's
I have
massive.
been on that. I have been on that stretch of highway before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this year they figured out a solution for you guys for the Alcan 5000.
Yeah, because it is on our route. It is on our route.
It's going to be the I Can Jump 5000.
Yes, that's why you're going to need all 260 horsepower.
This is true. This is true. Yes, I just hope it has a Dixie horn. So
Well, we are getting ready to head up and start a construction on that jump. Alternatively, though, there is a detour that's been set up on like a single lane road.
yes, there has been. It was actually incredible because my Facebook Messenger just started going crazy when this news broke, and so we messaged the organizers of the Alcan 5000, and we're like, this is on the route, and they're like, I'm sure they'll get it fixed by then. There's like 50 days still or whatever it was. And we're like, oh, okay, you seem pretty confident of that. And within 24 hours, they had already something to go around it. It was like, yeah. It's a pretty main thoroughfare up to the Yukon and whatnot. So it's a trade route. I have some friends who live up in Whitehorse, and they were saying that, within 24 hours, like all the food and supplies on the shelves were just gone because they figured, yep, nobody's going to be able to get in or out. So,
well, it's kind of like Yellowstone with all their washouts.
right?
Yes, yeah. Some of those roads are still down, but they've redirected resources for those roads from other summer projects, so that those roads should be open before winter, even before they close again.
I don't know if you guys, you Washingtonians remember, but about 10 years ago, there was a bridge north of Seattle, north of Everett, that got whacked by a semi truck and the whole bridge collapsed. It was an I-5 bridge.
The Skagit River Bridge, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah. And so that was back when I was doing Chump Car. One of our Chump Car fans did that exact same drawing, but they photoshopped our Chump Car flying through the air as part of the Photoshop, jumping the bridge to get to the other side. So that brought me back, Ben. Thank you for your infographic.
By the way, if I remember correctly, on that Skagit River Bridge, like it when it went into the river or whatever, like nobody got hurt, which was amazing. Except there was a orange Subaru that got stuck on the bridge, but it like didn't get washed away. It was hilarious. It was like an orange Subaru Crosstrek. So I don't know.
I don't remember
Did a
that.
blue Subaru, so we'll see. Hopefully, we don't have any worries like that. So.
Like, okay, where's all my pictures of the Subarus from the other episode? I can Photoshop open up something quick. Our next story is the 9 cool builds at Overland Expo West 2022. Let me get that shared here. Because this one is all pictures, so we'll have to, if you're listening, we'll have to describe. There we go. So we've got here a Jeep truck with a Bison Overland camper, which is pretty cool. I like that pop-up.
It's so tiny. I mean, is there even space to sleep in it?
So I saw it in person there. It belongs to Phil from Down to Mob Overland, and it's a small space on the back. It does help with the pop-up for height, but it's pretty small. So I'll be interested to see how he outfits it. But yeah, they're planning on habitating in it. So
I think you have to not only you sleep at a diagonal, but also vertically at a diagonal from one upper corner to an opposite lower corner. I like this one here.
Yeah, it's a cool truck.
The Rubicon Ready Crawl Camper.
So it looks like it's got a Go Fast Camper style top on it, or probably a homemade version or something.
Yeah, I can't tell. That may be a Super Pacific, but I'm not really sure. So Vagabond, it says. Right?
Yeah, it says Vagabond on the back.
There you go. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The Troopy.
Yep.
Transcontinental Troopy. Really love this rig.
Yeah,
was he in some?
The one that belongs
was
to,
he in some really windy area? Did the bottom of his door panel fly off, or was he snow camping with us? It looks like the bottom of his door panel has popped off.
That one's from Ernesto from Overlanding the Americas. Yeah.
This also is one of my favorites. I love it when people do a single cab off-road vehicle.
Same.
Yeah.
I have an affinity for the slow vehicles, and the 2.7 Tacoma with the 4-cylinder and the 5-speed is a pretty slow vehicle, but I like the simplicity of it. I don't own Toyota 4-wheel drives, but if I was going to do one, the 4-cylinder 5-speed single cabs, they have a special place in my frozen baboon heart.
You have to be definitely not having children to have a rig set up like this. I'm pretty sure you could do it as a couple, maybe not a couple with a dog, or you could do it as a single person with a dog, but I don't think you could get three things that have heartbeats in this set.
No.
What I really appreciate about this rig is it's not, at least on this picture it's showing, it's not filled full of the brim, filled full of useless gear. It looks like he's got the basics there ready to go, and it's firefighting gear.
Yep.
Yeah, he doesn't even have crazy off-road bumpers, no skid plates. This guy's just going and having adventures and working out of it also.
Go light, go fast.
Yeah. Have to with that engine.
Yes.
We've got a Overland Ford Maverick.
You're not going to hear any complaints from me on these. I think this is enough truck for like 99% of the actual Overland crowd. Maybe that's a little bit much. Maybe 75% of the Overland crowd. If you don't need low range and you're just out there and you're doing lots of dirt tracks and stuff with, that's going to be enough for most people. I know nobody wants to hear that, but it's true. But I think that's
nobody wants to hear it, but it's something they need to hear because I want fuel economy, but I also want 33-inch tires.
Right. I'm also 3,000 pounds above my GVWR, but this is I think a cool set. No, yeah, that wasn't aimed at anybody on this show, but anyway, Ben. But anyway,
no,
guy, Aaron. So.
We actually just talked about that in our last podcast,
right?
episode 362. I almost bought some pork rinds because of that episode.
This thing was great too. The big old F series Super Duty with the custom Warren bumpers and the Warren winch, and it's got a definite retro vibe to it. Definitely a cool rig.
Go ahead.
It's got a good blend of past and present off-roading with it.
Definitely.
This is my favorite Ford pickup truck body style and layout ever. The 4-door long bed from the late 90s. This is what I drew as a kid. This was the pickup truck I drew when I drew pickup trucks, and it always had 4 doors and it always had the 8-foot bed. This one, that Ford had the Godzilla motor in it, by the way.
7.3 Godzilla.
Yes. So that's a gas. It's a gas motor. It's not a diesel motor. So, but it's a motor that puts out gobs of torque.
And this one's for sale, it looks like.
I feel like you should be buying ice cream out of this in South America somewhere.
Actually, it's hot dogs, but yeah, it's very close. Land Rover, classic Land Rover Overland vehicle. Very interesting. It's very orange.
Does it have classic Overland? Does it have classic Land Rover reliability?
I don't know. Series 2A forward control.
You see the front wheels on there?
Yeah.
That's a step to get you inside. It has that ring as part of the wheel assembly to help get you up inside. I like the cleverness of that.
Simple and effective.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This was one of my favorite vehicles there. I just thought this was so cool. It's so classic.
That's an Alaskan camper, right?
No.
It's a 4-wheel.
The Alaskan
full 4-wheel.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Alaskan campers were hard-sided pop-ups.
Okay. But yeah, that's very nice. I love it.
The 78 Chevy K5, yellow and white, very classic. This is like, I feel like everybody's neighbor had one of these in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's still got all the original paperwork.
Mm-hmm. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's the last one for that one.
Our last news story, Andy actually shared this today in his Crankshaft Culture about 5 hours ago. So Suzuki Jimny leaked with 2 more doors.
Oh, if only. Yeah, this is one that'll very likely not come to the United States, despite the fact Suzuki pulled out of the United States in 2013. So it's not going to definitely be sold through Suzuki dealerships, even if it did come here. So it'd have to be sold through like somebody else rebadged as a Toyota or a Mitsubishi or a Nissan or something. All companies.
Bronco 2. I'm saying it. Bronco 2.
Bronco 2. I have a hard time thinking that one's going to happen, but I do know that Suzuki does have alliances with the 3 previous companies I mentioned. So it's super unlikely, but I'd having driven the 2 doors, they're brilliant, and having 2 more doors would be brilliant also, especially for North America. These can be had as close as Mexico, but not in the United States or Canada. So
I've got an idea. Buy a Scion XB and graft a Suzuki Jimny to the front of it, and you could be the first one in the United States that has a Suzuki Jimny 4-door.
Yeah, that's a really great idea, Aaron.
Actually, so I figured it out for you, Andy. You become a dual citizen with Mexico.
Yeah. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And then you say your primary residence is in Mexico, and then you own a Jimny, and then you drive it around up here.
Yeah, that doesn't sound sketchy at all. So
I mean, it's legal.
You could be driving some pretty unique press cars also if you got your hands on some of the stuff down there.
this is true. We have some friends who just moved to Baja, so hey,
Yeah.
we'll see what we can do.
And they actually show this with a left-hand drive.
Oh yeah,
By friends,
oh
do
yeah.
you mean roommates?
What was that?
By friends, do you mean roommates?
Yeah.
No.
That's your
Oh,
new
wait.
address.
Yes, roommates.
So Andy, that is actually a legal thing to do. Is your Mexican vehicle that you own would be property that you can go back and forth as an international thing.
Well, I was in Mexico in February, so maybe I'll need to go visit again next year and set the paperwork up.
There you go.
Yeah.
Go prepared with Warren Industries. They produced the first recreational winch in 1959 and lead the industry with their dedication to quality and reliability. When you dig yourself in deep, make sure you have the right tools to get yourself out. Get Warren equipped and go where others can't. Now, let's get ready for adventure and head into our main topic.
Sorry, Jeremy.
You let Andy get out of making up his own ad read.
Oh, I did.
Oh.
You
Oh man.
have to get me next time.
Yeah. Next time.
I don't
We'll
know.
make you read it.
I don't know when you'll be on the show ever again.
We'll
Well, that
we'll
could
make
be a
you read it.
problem.
We'll make you read it twice because there always seems to be an echo.
Echo.
Yes. Well, as the title this week says, Andy rallies around. Have you been to more rallies this summer than you have fingers on one hand?
Ooh, close. But I only have 3 fingers, so no, I was kidding. Oh boy, no, I have been to. Yeah, I've been to 4.
Nice
think-
Coca-Cola, Jeremy.
Yeah, I was telling the Coca-Cola. I was like, "Is that a new thing? Is that the Coca-Cola? Coca-Cola?
Coca-Cola.
This is I don't know what that is, but it's amazing, and I need one. But anyway,
I
so
got one for you next time I see you. Then
oh, that is fantastic. I have okay, yeah, it's like for drinking in church or something, right? Anyway,
Yes.
it's also not made for this style of
I
can.
can it doesn't even come close to fitting a tall boy. Anyway, oh boy. Anyway, yes, I've been to a bunch of Overland shows this year, starting with Overland Expo West down in Flagstaff, then the Northwest Overland Rally, BC Overland Rally, and then last weekend's Overland Expo Pacific Northwest. So
4.
4 Overland rallies. Yes, that doesn't include any time, speed, distance rallies that I've done, which is a completely different kind of rally. But I will be doing the Alcan 5000 rally, also different. So
I did choose that rally name as a double entendre for that purpose.
I see.
So
yeah.
when you come on to recap the Alcan 500, it's going to be Andy rallies around again.
Rallies round and round. Oh, well, you could use Rats Round and Round for the theme music, maybe. So, yes.
There you go.
This was me being actually mauled by a bear. So, I mean,
Assaulted.
my good friend. This is my good friend Al Smith from Overland Kitchen, who makes some amazing stainless steel kitchen setups for the back of Overland vehicles, Jeeps, and a host of other things such as Forerunners. So,
Is that a stainless steel tarp in the background?
oh, it's a Kentucky chrome tarp. So,
Kentucky Crow.
but but yeah. So yeah, it is the Overland Rally thing is like in full effect again after being in the throes of COVID. So a lot of these were like family reunions. Most people did not pick me up off my feet and then attempt to put the L5S1 disc back in my back like that he was. But there were lots of hugs, lots of high fives, all that
Nice.
kind of stuff. It was a bit like a family reunion at all of them, especially the smaller ones like Northwest Overland Rally and BC Overland Rally. So they were really good. It was fantastic to see people again.
So can you talk about that a little bit? So you went to two big ones, although I assume that the Flagstaff one is much bigger than the Pacific Northwest version, because this is the first year of the Pacific Northwest version. And then you went to two smaller ones, which are both put on by Ray Highland,
Right.
the Northwest Overland Rally in Plain and the BC Overland Rally, I'm guessing in BC.
Right. They were in Merritt, British Columbia this year. So
Yeah.
good call on the BC Overland
That's a
Rally
great
being in
guess.
BC.
Really
I was
good
moved to
guess.
Alberta this year. So no, I'm just kidding. So no. So yeah, let's see. Starting with the Overland Expo West, this is the sort of the original one. Started, I believe, in 2010 or 2011 or maybe 09. And started out pretty small and is now massive. The Overland Expo series is owned by an event management company called Lodestone. I believe they're based out of Illinois. But they put on the Overland, they put on Expo West, Expo Mountain West, Expo East, and now Expo Pacific Northwest. But Overland Expo West this year was a little bit smaller, I think, than it has been in the past, with likely gas prices had a lot to do with that. With that being said, as a friend of mine remarked, I don't think gas prices are deterring people. These are people that have put a $3,000 fridge in an 85 4Runner. So, but it was a little down. I believe the official number, though, was 28,000 people, which is still absolutely nothing to shake a stick at. That's a lot of people. And in true Flagstaff fashion, the first day was like 50-mile-an-hour gusts. It was truly a Bloverland Expo. So it seems to be the way these shows go down in Flagstaff. But it was amazing to see people. Lots of good turnout. Tons and tons of vendors. Everything you would possibly ever need to go camping, exploring, traveling, overlanding, and all the other various synonyms for doing that kind of stuff. So it was really good. So from there, a few weeks later, went to the return of the Northwest Overland Rally. That Northwest Overland Rally hadn't been held since 2019 due to COVID stuff. And so it was again in Plain, Washington, a little tiny burg outside of Leavenworth, Washington. For those of you unfamiliar, it's kind of central Washington in a place that really does look like Bavaria. And it's not because the city makes every building look like a Bavarian building, including McDonald's. But so that one, I don't know what the numbers were there. It wasn't super big. I think that again, gas prices, I think, didn't help, but also I think they just got going a little bit later. But
yeah, they were really late with the signups for the.
They were very late.
Because usually those go out in like January. I don't think they went out until like May.
I think so. Yeah. So they were a little late going on, and that might have been because of COVID or just uncertainty. I don't really know.
There was some problem with the website vendor thingy. I can't remember it because they were having issues. Because I was looking at signing up, and then I didn't get to sign up early enough to where I could be like, okay, I've got this on the calendar before other things popped up on it.
Right. The people that went, though, it is one of my favorite events of all time. It is truly like a family reunion. And for those, there's the sentiment of like, why would I spend a bunch of money to go camp in a field? Like if that's your mentality, then you're not right for the event, because what it really is it's a chance to go meet other people who are interested in doing the same kind of thing you are. There are classes that you can learn how to do things. There's the McDonald's in Leavenworth. This is why we bring you only the top quality information on this podcast, by the way. So thank you for bringing that up at a moment's notice. I'm actually very impressed. But anyway, so for those people who are looking for like a rustic camping trip, that's not what this is. This is a rally to bring together people with like-minded things about overlanding. They like traveling. They like learning about how to recover vehicles, cook in the bush, all that kind of stuff. So it was fantastic. Yeah, as long as that event goes on, I'm going to be going to it. So from there, literally the next week was the BC Overland Rally, and that moved venues this year. Last year, or the last time it was held in 2019, it was in Whistler, British Columbia. And Whistler is a gorgeous, beautiful place. Unfortunately, in 2019, they had a bit of a bear problem. There were lots of bears. They were actively, Whistler employees were actively walking around with starter pistols, shooting them off into the air, trying to scurry bears away. Apparently, rumor has it in 2019, the weekend before, there was like some sort of marathon or like trail running event, and so there were lots of energy bar remnants still laying around. And so apparently it brought the bears down.
And bears don't need energy bars. It makes them go wild. That's like giving a bear a Red Bull.
Yeah, bad idea. Bad idea. Keep the Cliff Bars out of the hands of the bears. But so
I don't know. Flying bears might be worse because
gives them wings.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. By the way, I don't know why I just was reminded of this, but I had a friend in high school who had an '86 Buick Skylark, and I thought it was so funny because in the back window he had a bumper sticker. It said "Fueled by Power Bar." I was thinking that was hilarious because it's this tiny little Buick. Anyway, glad I got that off my chest. So so anyway, they moved it from Whistler to Merritt, British Columbia. Merritt is northeast of Vancouver by about 2.5 hours on the Coquihalla Highway. Beautiful location. It was held at a place where they hold this big music festival. It was a bit dusty because there's a river that runs through there that earlier the year had risen up above its banks and deposited a lot of silt. So it was dusty, but great people, fantastic setting, great weather, and it's very much like the Northwest Overland Rally, just up in Canada. So a little bit different, but very much the same. And then last weekend was the inaugural Overland Expo PNW, or Pacific Northwest, which was held in Redmond, Oregon at the Deschutes County Expo Center, which is a really nice venue, actually. Plenty of space, clean facilities, all that kind of stuff. So it was the first time they've ever had that there. I suspect they'll have it there again. Warren Industries had a great location. We had a great booth. We had 4 vehicles in the booth. We had my 94 Mitsubishi Delica with a Warren M8000 on the front, as well as a Factor 55 Ultra Hook and the Warren Epic 1.5 Fairlead. Not to mention a sweet Warren decal on its very, very slopey hood. And then my wife's 1991 Mitsubishi Pajero, equipped with a Warren M8000 and an Epic hook, was in the Light Force USA booth with those big Light Force Genesis. They're like small suns on the front of the vehicle. Actually, I think that new Webb telescope actually spotted my wife's vehicle from space. So, but anyway,
all the jokes about those telescopes coming out today, man.
The Webb kaleidoscope, yeah. So, I don't know. I've seen better, but anyway, so we had those two, and then in the Warren booth was the Delica. Then we had my coworker's 2019 Tacoma, completely outfitted with Warren bumpers, Warren winch, a whole host of other goods. Yep.
Speaking of Delicas, I'm gonna go off subject here, but about a month ago, I shared in your Crankshaft Culture a picture of a Delica RV that I had spotted at a job site I'm working at. And last Friday, I was at that job site, and the guy pulled in, and he hops out, and he's kind of hipster looking. And I say, "Hey, sweet Delica, how long have you had it?" And he's like, "Oh, about 2 years." And he just kept walking and walked inside the building, and that was the end of the conversation. So usually people don't know what a Delica is, and maybe you might talk to the person who says the word Delica. And
that's pretty rare for a Delica owner, because usually the way it works, by the way, here's the problem. When you own a Delica or any other bizarro kind of vehicle like that, people are constantly walking up to you and be like, "Hey, what is that? Where'd you get it? How long you had it? Is it 4-wheel drive? Is it diesel? How's it like to drive on the right-hand side? Is it a manual transmission? Does it have manual hub?" And maybe this guy was like, "I don't have time to talk about it. Yeah, it's a Delica. I got to go to work." So I don't know. Usually most of us lunatic fringe are more than willing to be to talk about them. So I always tell people, by the way, if you have one of these vehicles and you're an introvert, you're gonna hate it. So
yeah, ask my wife.
yeah. So
she hated the LMTV because she's an introvert.
Yeah.
So
we
anyways,
also had
I didn't get to say. So, do you know Andy Lowenthal?
Oh,
That was the big hype for that, and he just let me down. So anyway,
well, I'm sorry. I'll try to have my people, be a little bit
reach out to
friendlier.
him.
So.
And you should probably kick him out of the club. Is what you need to do.
Take his Delica card.
Oh man, I'll tell you what. So we also had a Lexus LX470 in the booth. Sorry, GX. I don't know, whatever the smaller one is, based on a 4-wheel drive, a 4Runner.
GX.
GX. Okay, so it was a GX, very nice GX. Another employee rig, and then we had my buddy Johnny's right-hand drive Subaru with a worn Axon winch on the front. Those of you who know him, his name is Johnny Walker. Yes, that's his real name. And he has a turbocharged JDM swapped Legacy on Nitto Nomad grapplers now, and he goes all over with it. He's got a rooftop tent on it, so it's pretty awesome.
He swapped the whole firewall and everything over in that rig, right, to make it right-hand drive.
He did. Johnny's the man, and he did some amazing things with that thing. So he's out to Rome, OUT number 2 Rome on Instagram for anybody that wants to check him out. But he does some cool stuff, and I'll tell you what, that guy goes places that in that Subaru that a lot of guys who build overland vehicles don't ever go. So anyway,
that was my first overlanding in my 2005 Subaru Legacy GT. On the backside of Mount St. Helens, and I took a road that people said I shouldn't have gone on, and just conquered it with that all-wheel drive Subaru.
Yeah, we talked to a gentleman from South Africa, and he was going to do this track. He had a Subaru Forester with the turbo in it, the 2.5 turbo, and he. Pretty experienced driver, and the expedition leader said, "No, not in a Forester." And he says, "No, I assure you, this will do it." He says, "Well," the guy told him, "Well, come out one day early, and if I tell you it can go through these dunes, if I approve it, I'll let you." And he said it was brilliant in the dunes. So, but there's always going to be that. There's always that. I use this term of endearment as a term of endearment. The fringe lunatic Subaru off-road Subaru guys,
of course,
and. It's amazing. It's amazing what picking the right line and the right amount of skinny pedal will do, even in an all-wheel drive Subaru. But Overland Expo Pacific Northwest Pacific Northwest was I would say was certainly a hit for the first year. Lots and lots and lots of vendors. They had classes and the whole shebang that you expect from Overland Expo. We had great weather. It's a good facility. And by the way, they had an amazing corn dog vendor there, by the way. So amazing corn dogs.
Did you get a chance to walk around much, or were you tied up to the booth?
I eventually did get to walk around a lot, and it was a good amount of vendors. It was kind of crowded in some of the spaces, really, really close together. Some of the booths were, but overall, I would say it was pretty good.
Did you guys have a pretty decent support staff being located in Oregon already?
Yeah, we actually had quite a few of our employees out there. So booth duty was myself and 2 other people full time. We had another person going between us and our sister company, Factor 55. We had a product manager come out for a day. We had our VP of marketing come out for a day. We had our new events manager come out for a day. So we had quite a bit of people, which was great. Oh, and we had one of our sales guy come out for a day too. So we had quite a bit of people walked around, got a chance to see what these are all about. The fact that a lot of these overlanding shows, especially the Overland Expo series, these are tier 1 shows now. These aren't just like, yeah, okay, well, we'll just maybe show up. It's a show that you really got to show up at.
And that's probably the closest legitimate show that you guys have ever been to as well, being based out of Portland.
for the overland genre, if you will, yes. Otherwise,
Yeah.
it would be the closest bigger show like that is going to be Overland Expo Mountain West, and that inaugural show was last year. So it was similar in very many respects to Overland Expo Mountain West. I would say that the venue was a little bit better for our booth. We had not only did we have grass, but we had like Tempur-Pedic grass. It was like thick and like spongy, and it was good to stand on. So didn't get a nap on it, but it was good. It was good to stand on. So the nice thing too is it brought in Bend, Oregon. For those of you who don't live in the Pacific Northwest, Bend, Oregon is sort of this outdoor sports and camping hotspot, and it has been for a long time. There's world-class skiing and mountain biking, and there's hundreds and hundreds of miles of off-road trails and lots of BLM land outside of town to go camping on. There's mountains, there's rivers, there's lakes. I mean, it really is an outdoor paradise. So it makes a lot of sense to have an expo in that neck of the woods. You're only 3 hours from Portland, about 5.5 hours without traffic from Seattle. You're really you're not crazy far from the Bay Area. I met a few people up from the San Francisco Bay Area who came up to see it. So in Northern California. So it's a good location. I think it'll be a successful event. I mean, I even heard people, a few vendors saying like, let's cancel Overland Expo West and just move it to Pacific Northwest. So that person probably lived in Bend and didn't want to have to drive down there. But anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, good stuff. Lots of good stuff.
Did you, in your time that you got to get out and walk around and things, did you get to see anything innovative? I mean, people are making new stuff all the time. People are rehashing stuff all the time. Out of any of those 4 shows you were at, what kind of jumped out at you?
Oh boy, that's a good question. My when I jump out, I'm like running around real quick to get photos for the Warren social media stuff, doing some glad handing with industry people, keeping relationships going. I would say a couple things, at least companies that I hadn't heard of that were new. One is called Rika Wheels, Reika. I think they're Rika AV, RikaAV.com. I think that's Adventure AV. Yeah, I'll have to find it. But Rika Wheels, and they offer some wheels for crossovers that are kind of more on the adventurous side. So they're making it's Rika REIKAVS, Rika Vehicle Systems. So they're offering wheels for like Subarus and RAV4s and Bronco Sports, along with truck wheels. So that was kind of neat to see companies actually catering to the soft roader crowd. It even sort of lowers that barrier of entry to the overlanding genre more than it is. So I thought that was kind of cool to see that. And then I see we have Travis Hudson 66 says, I did the Expo survey today and saying there will be an Expo PNW next year. Well, that's good to hear. Yeah. So let's see, what else did I see? AT out of Arizona. They make some awesome camper shells, and one of my favorite things at both Expo West and Expo Pacific Northwest is their latest camper called the Atera, ATERRA, and it is a camper that goes on the flat deck of a 25 or 3500 truck, and it is awesome. Like, I'll tell you what, if I could buy one tomorrow, I would, because it is fully outfitted. It is super comfortable. You get it in one spec, and it's all built out awesome. It includes everything from your stove and fridge. It's a 2-burner stove with a sink and a National Luna fridge, to king size mattress, toilet, it's just fantastic. You get in the back of this thing, and you don't even think about the fact you're on the bed of a truck. It's just
a king size mattress toilet.
Yes,
it's like Amber Heard. Was it designed for Amber Heard?
I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to get sued by her. So, I don't want my career ruined. So
You here at the Off-Road Podcast, you each individual host says those are their opinions and not that of the Off-Road Podcast.
so since we're on the topic of toilets, is that not a show title? The topic of toilets. Anyway, or toilet talk. Anyway,
real quick.
Yeah,
Toilet talk.
that's horrible. Anyway, so
Well, you got to say it really sultry though. Toilet talk
no,
with Ben, Aaron, and Jeremy.
Yeah, ooh.
Special guest
Yeah.
Aaron and get special guest Andy.
Alan.
No, yeah, definitely don't tune in for that one. So, but they
That's
even have
going
this
to
like,
that's going into the queue right now.
oh, good, yeah, I'll be gone that week. So, they even have this like this. I'm not since we're talking about it, like this. They have this toilet. It's this Japanese-made toilet, and it has a bag, and it like when you're done, you like press a button, and it like hermetically seals the bag and ejects it into space. Okay, it doesn't really do that part, but
Space.
it does
Can you imagine
eject.
it just like launches it out the roof.
It just sounds like a mortar.
Oh, Andy, did you take a dump?
No, just incoming. So, no, but there's like a trap door you take. Anyway, it was amazing. It's included, but
Wow.
so that was super awesome. Definitely not a low budget item, but it was. It is.
Did you get to try it?
Okay, I got to try the trailer, but not the toilet. So
Oh, all right.
yeah, I didn't ask either, but maybe they would have let me. Well, it was a customer vehicle, so probably not. So I thought that was amazing. My friends at Brigade Overland up in Canada, they had 12-volt ovens. So it's a little oven like the size of like a VCR or a DVD player. If any of you youngsters out there remember what a VCR is, and so Brent says he knows what he. Go ahead.
Brent says he knows what mortars he's getting for the 4th of July next year.
But my friend at Brigade Overland, he's bringing in these little ovens, or about the size of a VCR, and they're 12-volt. They just run off a 12-volt, and you can actually like cook. They were doing Aussie pies out of them because it's an Australian company. But like that was pretty interesting. I'd never seen that before. Did they go
into your cigarette lighter port?
I think there is a cigarette lighter port, but I think the ones they had were actually like tapped into 12-volt.
Okay, I just feel like
I imagine
to have an oven, it needs more power than just a cigarette lighter.
Maybe it was just alligator clips or ring terminals or something like that. But it's like that is interesting. So a Terra the Hun, yes, indeed, it is. It was a rather impressively large and aggressive camper. So
I wonder if that would be possible doing like the what are they called, the like diesel heater style. So
yeah,
it's
maybe
just a fan blowing the heat in, created through the.
It's a gas convection oven. That would be Overland Ritzy right there.
Super
Overland AF, as they would say.
Over on the Horsepower Hour podcast.
Yeah. That's right. Excuse me when I put my other shirt on so I can go do that podcast next. No, but there were a number of trailer things that were cool. BC Overland Rally had some Canadian market ones that were also very cool. A little less fully outfitted, but the fun thing about going to those Overland shows is there is just so much gear and things that like you don't even think about. Like, and yes, there's plenty of things that things you didn't think about that you definitely also don't need. But there's also some things you're like, wow, that's actually a really good idea. Like a LED lenser was there. Like everybody knows LED. Well, maybe not. LED lenser makes flashlights. And my wife and I have used LED lenser for years and just always liked the products. And their headlamps have been with us all over the place. We stopped by their booth and they had all these innovative new little headlamps. And like they're little tiny. You can put an entire headlamp like in your hand, in the palm of your hand. And that's just like cool. Like, it's amazing. One year they'll have something that's cool, and then the next year they've innovated and made it smaller and lighter and more efficient. And that just goes for a whole lot of different products out there. And they say competition is good for or innovation is good for competition, and competition is good for everybody. And I'll tell you what,
Yeah.
just having been in this industry as long as I have, you see where just even rooftop tents have come in the last 5 to 7 years, and
Yeah.
it's just amazing the ideas that come out. Even things like jerry cans. I mean, that this one here, back for those that are on the video can see, this is just a waving jerry can, goes into my spare tire jerry can holder. But Dometic has these little I think it's a 2.8 gallon, 11 liter water can, and you're like, how could you possibly make a water can any better, right? It's just a water can. But they've done little things, like they've made the opening on it big enough that you can get your hand in, so you can actually clean the inside of it. They have an attachment that
Maybe
you can
wash your hands that way or something.
you could keep a fish in it probably, and then take it out for dinner. So but they have this little port on it. Yeah, they put they have this attachment. You can actually put a battery powered faucet
Pump?
on it, so you have running water at camp.
It's about time somebody made that, because people for the past probably 6 or more years have been just innovating that themselves. They go to Home Depot and they buy the parts and they jerry can rig something together, and they make it happen.
Yeah, I've been waiting for something like that, because I've got the we've been talking about getting one of those 5-gallon, like the plastic refillable ones that you use for like office.
Oh yeah.
They have like hand pumps for those. We were talking about getting those for scouts, and I was like, only if I had one that would fit like one of my jerry can style water containers, because then I can just fill that up, and when we're at camp, the kids can use that. It's like about time.
Yeah, and they even have an attachment for like a water filter you can put on there. So we picked one of those. We got one of the jerry can.
Dometic, okay.
Yeah, so I actually picked one. I got the can, and I think we're going to get the faucet and check that out too. But
Awesome.
yeah, it's every shape and style of rooftop tent you could think was available. But those are the things that immediately like popped out at me as being like, oh, that's cool. Like it's the evolution of things. It's not just the same old stagnant product that's like, oh, okay, yeah, all the same vendors are here again with the same old product. We used it at Warren, we used it as a way to continue to spread the word about the Hub wireless controller, which allows you to operate your winch with your smartphone. We also really showcased our Warren Epic wheels as well. When we were at Expo, we had 2 vehicles in the booth with Warren wheels, and I guess people don't think of Warren as a wheel manufacturer. And so the last 3 rallies I went to, I brought a wheel and put it up on the table, and you wouldn't believe the difference that made. People go, you guys don't make wheels, do you? I'm like, we do. So I was able to show them a couple of styles there too. So that was fun. But yeah, it's just if anybody's never been to an Overland Expo, it's definitely worth going at least once, just to see the size. Everybody's blown away when there's 300 to 500 vendors, and I mean, there's literally everything you need and things you have never thought you needed for sale, and lots of the classes are great and stuff too. But yeah, it's quite a spectacle. So.
I'm sending you a private message here, Andy, for a product idea.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember when the last Overland rally Jeremy and I attended. That's when we were introduced to the Hub as it was a beta test product, or pre-beta. I don't even know what it would have been then. And we got it.
I think that's beta test.
Was that beta?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but yeah, we got to play around with it there, and then fortunately enough, we were able to get to use it again in the field before it was released, so that we could test it out. It was really cool.
Yeah. Speaking of that, we got an email from Warren recently. They reached out and want us to do some more testing, so I'm excited about that. Maybe this fall, find out what we can beta test.
Cool. Let me know what it is.
I can't. I got to sign an NDA, Andy. I can't tell
fine.
you.
Fine. That was a
Yeah.
test. You just passed.
Oh, phew.
Yeah. Just in case you were
Yeah.
wondering.
I'm spying.
So.
We only brought Warren on as a sponsor so we can spy on them and give all your ideas to Badlands.
Oh, watch him. I did. Okay, I did. I have to laugh. I did get a person come up to the booth and basically comes up and sort of gruff and says, "Well, I used to like Warren." Oh, okay. What happened? He says, "Well, you guys are owned by a multinational conglomerate. You know, takes money from the Chinese government and blah blah blah." I'm like, "No, we're headquartered in." Our parent company is headquartered in Chicago, and they're like, "Nope." I'm like, "Oh,
Nope.
Okay." I said, "Geez, I've been working here all this time. I didn't know that." So, told me to do my research, get out there and start Googling it. So,
Oh man.
Yeah. Any other good stories? Any products you see outside of what you've already mentioned?
Boy, let me think. You know, I having been to all of them, you just kind of like, I don't know. I guess for me, what's interesting is the evolution of a hard shell camper. I mean, there's a lot of choices out there.
Oh,
And-
even the tents have changed a lot in the last 5 years.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I have a CVT tent that I've had excellent luck with. It's been through terrible weather and it always has stood up. But there's so many hard shell versions coming out. There's the wedge campers. I think it might have been Overland or Expedition Portal that did a story on the rise of the wedge camper or wedge rooftop tent. Excuse me. You know, like the Go Fast style. A lot of people think of that. So, and then like the stuff James Baroud and Auto Home, and in addition to all the other ones out there, and there's so many choices, so many more choices out there as well. The truck bed camper thing is, you know, it used to just be four wheel pop-up campers, and now there's so many versions and variants. That, you know, there's scout campers and there's the AT stuff and you know, stuff that is light enough that it'll take the Tacoma's 400-pound payload capacity, and that was a joke. So take the payload capacity for small pickups, and I think that's neat to see. You know.
Yeah, it's good. Like you mentioned earlier, you know, it's good for competition. It's good for getting improvements and upgrades. And I mean, the flashlight company you mentioned earlier, I mean, just in the gun industry, there's like 3 or 4 manufacturers that make tactical flashlights, and you see them like, oh, well, I'm going to bridge out and do more overland stuff, so I can hit the market. And then what's it going to do for the gun world? It's going to make better flashlights.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. As if you're not innovating in many aspects of this industry, you may just suddenly see your lunch taken away from you. You know,
exactly.
You know, and sitting on your laurels is not advantageous, and somebody will come for your lunch money.
And the Overland bubble hasn't popped yet, so.
No, and actually, that's I mean, you could do an entire show on that. You know, I mean, my coworker and I were just talking about this today. You know, have we reached peak saturation on this? You know, there's a lot of mainstream companies that are getting into it. I think I even saw today a Matchbox car with a rooftop tent on it, or like I think it was a Toyota or something like that.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of those.
Okay, yeah, and so you know, it's starting to become, you know, more mainstream. You know, I may have even talked about this before on the podcast, but I remember back in the day, this was probably like 2016, and I get a call from a buddy of mine who worked at ARB and says, REI in Seattle wants this JDM Land Cruiser in their flagship store in Seattle. It's got an ARB bumper on it. Do you want to put a winch in it? I was like, absolutely. I'm like, wait. REI? Like REI? And they're like, yeah. And I remember at that moment, it was like I could see the Venn diagrams beginning to overlap of off-roading and camping, and in the middle you are here. And actually, REI actually had a booth at Northwest Overland Rally, like straight up REI.
Yeah,
Really? The one in Plain?
Yes, the one in Plain.
Huh.
yeah.
It wasn't a big booth, but they were showing off. They were partnering with Subaru of America, and they had a Forester in their booth with their new car cot. I can't remember what they call it. My coworker who went with me, Amy, she went with me to the Northwest Overland Rally, and she ended up ordering one. And it's a cot that allows you to you keep the seat, you fold down the seats, and the one side has longer legs that go into the footwell, and the other side has very short legs that are up on the cargo deck area and allows you to sleep on a mattress in the car. And I'm like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. That was like, hey, that's a really good idea. Oh, okay. I just thought one other thing that was amazing that we ran into at the rallies. They were at BC Overland Rally and also at Overland Expo West. I'm probably going to butcher the name, but it's a company out of the Czech Republic called Agoe, and they make these. I think it's a wood laminate system that goes into a variety of vehicles, everything from Subarus to Jeeps to pickups and all this stuff. I assume pickups, vans, and all sorts of stuff. And it's this modular system, and it has it's EGOE, and they make these systems. Like one's called the Nest, and I think one's called like the Tracker Nest Box, and they go into the back of a vehicle, and you can have a sink and a stove and a place for like a Dometic drawer fridge, and they come out, and so you can like take your stove from your vehicle and like take it and put it on a picnic bench and cook outside on a bench if you want to. This was brilliant to me. I thought this was one of the most innovative things I'd seen on the Overland market in some time. So, for those of you not watching the podcast online, we're showing some photos of it. Their website is pretty good too. They're out of Europe, so.
I wonder if they've been building these for a long time, because I've seen something like this in the past where someone's got some really clever storage stuff. And it seems like they started building it for the Volkswagen, the European Volkswagen vans. Yeah, I wonder if they've been around for a while, and this is maybe just the newest iteration of their thing, and finally they've made it to the U.S.
Very, very possible. It is very clever. I thought that was a really neat thing to see. So, and they've got all the dimensions online, and yeah, it's just a super neat thing. This was one of my favorite things that I saw at the 4 rallies I've been to in the last few months. So,
Yeah, it's in metric, so you're going to have to do some conversions there.
You may be on the Euro side. I think there might be a
.com.
I thought there was, but I could be wrong. There's the Ego, and for the first time in North America, I see on their website, and that they were going to be at Overland Expo, but I could be wrong. So,
yeah, it's still cool. It's a super unique product, and it would be cool to see it here in the States, if they haven't,
They do actually. One of the North American distributors is actually Oregon AT out of Bend. So they're those folks are the people you want to talk to in the United States. So, but I think the bottom line is there was no shortage of product, cool things to see, and corn dogs at the Overland Expo Pacific Northwest. So,
well, yeah, I'm having a corn dog this Friday. Our small little town is putting on something called Derby Days, and I'll be at Derby Days, and our church has a food booth there where they're making corn dogs. So I'm having a corn dog.
Delicious.
Yeah, I'm trying to talk him into doing. When Coy and I were in Disneyland a couple months ago, Coy had this pickle corn dog. So they hollow out a pickle and they shove the hot dog inside of the pickle, so it's a really big pickle.
Delicious.
And then they stick the stick in it, and then they batter it and they deep fry it, and it's just big Herkin corn dog pickle, and
Oh, that sounds
my
amazing right now.
it was so good they went back the next day and got some more. My wife had a bite of Coy's wife's corn dog pickle, and she said it was just the right amount of juiciness, and it went really, really good together. So
I would be willing. Nobody has ever said that phrase before in the history of mankind. By the way, that Coy's wife's pickle
right.
corn dog on a stick, or whatever you just said.
Yeah, when I was in Montana, we actually went to a food truck that had they had homemade corn dogs, or food truck corn dogs, handmade, and then they also had fried pickles too.
Oh, fried pickles are a food weakness for me. Like if there's a place that has fried pickles, I have to get them. I can't help it. I'm like an addict. They're so good.
And they had stickers and all that too. But I had the corn dog, and then we had a pickle that we shared, and then lemonade. Got to have the lemonade.
Sorry about your luck, Travis.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I didn't have that problem for what it's worth, but I also I only had one, so they had a variety of corn dogs. They had the extra large, the small, and then I think maybe like mini corn dogs. And then I was told for breakfast, they actually for $6 you got 4 battered sausages in corn dog batter and hash browns. So I'm making myself very hungry right now.
I know.
One? 4, but they may have been little tiny sausages. I don't know.
They're probably like breakfast sausages, so little tiny ones.
Yeah, I bet you that tastes amazing. I mean, they wouldn't.
What if they did it in like a pancake batter, not a corn dog batter?
Oh, maybe it was pancake batter. I don't know. I bet you anything was better than the reconstituted eggs I had at the hotel. So
we
hotel.
Yeah, Andy gave up sleeping at Overland Expo vendor booths in 2019 after there were too many people who were screaming and yelling, and I got to be up early to work. My days of partying are past me now, Aaron.
I might know the guy who's screaming and hollering.
Most likely.
Shut up, Ben! He yelled from a rooftop tent. So,
yeah. Well, so my biggest takeaway from this whole conversation is if you've never been to an Overland rally, and all 4 of us on the show have been to at least one, find one in your area. Go check it out. No matter how big or how small it is. You're gonna have a great time. You're gonna see things you've never seen. You're gonna meet people you've never met. You're gonna learn things you've never learned. You can't lose. You just can't lose. It's worth whatever amount of money it costs.
Just to piggyback off on that, and this is my big takeaway from these rallies, having been to them since about 2010 every year, is I have met more friends at these rallies, people I continue to call good, if not best friends at these rallies. I don't know what it is, if it's just this like-mindedness kind of thing or whatnot, but there's a lot of super, super good people at these events, and a lot of cool relationships, and the camaraderie is fantastic. So in addition to the product, people are amazing.
Christopher says the rally in Plain was great. Plenty of activities, but not so big to be overwhelming.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed the rallies that I've been to, so I'm sad I didn't get to go to any this year. It just didn't work out with my schedule.
Yeah, me either. I had way too much fun this past weekend digging ditches and all that stuff. It was so much more enjoyable than going and enjoying myself at like the Pacific Northwest Overland Rally. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, who doesn't love a
good
ditch? I don't know.
I love ditches.
Yeah.
Aaron loves ditches.
So. Yeah. I should have had Ben come help me.
I could have brought the 4Runner and dug a ditch real quick. I just need Jeremy there with Toyota to Bubba rope me through it.
Well, I have 99. I have 99 problems, but a ditch ain't one. So
yeah, we're done with ditches for a little bit. Travis says the camping at Expo PNW is actually pretty tame in the overflow lot. Everyone was quiet by 9 o'clock. Had to do the math real quick. By 9 o'clock, and I only heard a couple of people snoring over our snoring. LOL.
I will say at an early Northwest Overland rally, somebody was camped next to us that had like a CPAP machine, and it was very loud. But I hope they were healthy and stuff though. So
well, usually the CPAP machines, maybe that's an older version or something. But usually they're fairly quiet and they help people sleep and not.
I
snore,
know.
so.
Well, maybe his wasn't working. I don't know.
We're gonna chip in and get Ben a CPAP.
Yeah.
For all our camp trips, we're gonna rent Ben a CPAP or something.
Yeah.
Ben,
And Mercedes is here in the comment, and she says that she missed the Northwest Overland Rally and the BC Overland Rally because she was out rallying a different kind of rally. So
Yeah, she was doing a classic car rally called the Great Race from Rhode Island to North Dakota in a '66 Mustang. So, but that's a whole nother topic. That's more of a horsepower hour topic. But
yeah.
I enjoyed her pictures from that trip.
I did too.
It was like, oh man, that looks like a fun time.
Speaking of fun times, one of the best things about both the Northwest and the BC Overland rallies is the what they call the Trophy Challenge. So at the end on Sunday, before everyone leaves, they have you do the off-road course, and they do it for time. And this year there were two aspects of it. So what keeps people from just going full send is they tape a cup of water to your hood, and the more water you spill, the more time gets taken off. They call it the Embarrassing Wetness Challenge. And then this year they added a biathlon aspect to it, where you shot a Nerf gun out the window at a target. And so you had 3 bullets and 3 targets. There's Mercedes in the Mustang during the Great Race, 66 Mustang 289 V8. So, but so there was a biathlon aspect to this. Only one person could shoot, so if you had passengers, they could shoot. And it is an absolute riot. It is so much fun. I've suggested that Ray put on an entire event just based around the Trophy Challenge. So something definitely not to miss at the Northwest or BC Overland rallies. So. And Ben has left us. And he's back.
No, it's just grabbing some food in my face.
Gotcha.
Are they corn dogs? Pickled corn dogs?
Teriyaki.
Oh, that's good too, though.
I'm in the home of teriyaki, so yeah.
Speaking of teriyaki, I think I need to try to find some of that for our freeze-dried food episode that's going to be coming up soon.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's coming up soon. I'm excited for that.
It's fun. I ironically happen to have this little sticker here from Mountain House. The Chili
that's a
Mac
fun sticker.
Yeah,
Chili Mac.
They have the also the little Mountain House Sprinter van or Transit van, or no, this is the Dodge one.
It's the
Ram
Ram
ProMaster.
van.
So anyway, I may or may not have a bunch of Mountain House around here. So
Nice.
Oh, also, if you're a beer drinker, if you can't find free beer at these Overland rallies, then you're not trying very hard. So,
Yeah, many a moon
already drunk.
many a moon have I drank with Nikasi and a few others, or been completely blitzed the entire rally.
oh well, I mean, I can't endorse that.
Well, we just wanted to thank everyone who listens to us weekly, and also those who watch us live on YouTube. We really appreciate you guys. Please share us with your friends. That's what really helps us grow. And God bless America.
Don't forget to visit Patriot Patch and join the Patch of the Month Club. Check out our Gaia affiliate link for up to 40% off. Also, don't forget to head over to Warren Medical Gear Outfitters and Colby Valve to see all their great gear. We're a proud part of the Firearms Radio Network. Got a comment or question? Send it to us through our webpage at firearmsradio.net or through our social media channels by searching for Offroad Podcast. Also, you can listen to us live at overlandradio.com Mondays at 7 p.m. Pacific. When off-road, please remember to have fun, tread lightly, be safe, and courteous. Thanks for listening.
Got a off-road podcast, corn dog patches, coming out later.
Sign me up.
What's this?